Very excited to talk to this man today. Of course, he is one of the people who I think has actually grown throughout the pandemic, right? You figured a way to kind of bring everyone to you in one way or another, I think. And now you're back out there. You're back on tour. You're bringing it back to the people out there. Bert, tell me right now, how is your outlook for 2022? That's what my first question is going to be.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm back right pre-pandemic where I'm like, I need a break. I gotta quit drinking or something. I've been partying so hard because I get a lapse. I get a 2-day lapse in the in the break, and I always have to go to Austin, and I always end up with fucking Rogan or Segura, and so yeah, I need a break. And I'm going to Vegas. That's not the break I needed.
Well, and that's another question too. What was your first experience with Las Vegas? I mean, did you come as a kid or did you come as an adult and you made some first lasting mistaken memories, perhaps? I don't know.
Without a doubt, my buddies said, let's go to Vegas. We were in a Winnebago, and they were like, we had a Winnebago, and they're like, let's go to Vegas. So we were taking the Winnebago for like the weekend. We were going to end up in Lake Powell. We stopped at Vegas first, and we pulled just outside Vegas up on that hill, and we got out of the Winnebago and stood on the roof on the side of the road and looked at Vegas for the first time. And it was such an amazing experience. I think because I'd heard so much about Vegas. Swingers had just gone out, and I don't think I had really compartmentalized what an amazing city it was. And then I've been to Vegas, and I counted on my phone so I can go through the pictures. I've been to Vegas roughly 50 times. And I've done everything you can possibly do in Vegas. There's only one thing left, and that's play disc golf in Vegas. They have a great disc golf course.
We do have a great disc golf course here, and I've seen many people out here when I'm walking my dog. And so my goal is just not to get hit by one of those. But yes, I know there are pro opportunities out there as well. I think I've seen people be sponsored out there. So I guess the world of that, we'll start looking for disc golf courses in the same price range as golf courses here in town sooner than later. I don't know.
You can drink beer and smoke weed, and it's more. I don't know. I've been obsessed with disc golf for the past disc golf and not paddle. Damn, why can't I? Pickleball. Oh my God. Pickleball and disc golf. I'm a whiter man than I could have been. I'm turning into an old white man.
So you're just every kind of senior citizen activity, you're in it. Done.
Dude, I got to be honest with you. Shuffleboard's amazing. It really is amazing. It's an underrated sport. I love, because if you get me shuffleboard in a bar with just the little pucks, I can do that all night long. You put money on it? Are you serious? That tickles the gambler in me. That like, just hit me one more time. Let's see if we can do it this time.
See, I think you need to kind of create your own Las Vegas just for those kind of events, like somewhere in Barstow in the middle of nowhere, where it's just like,
I'm ready.
Here.
I'm ready. I'm ready for retirement.
Well, before you retire, let's not get to there yet, because you are coming to Las Vegas, Virgin Hotels, of course, and it's going to be an epic show. I guess one of the first questions I have to be is, what does it feel like being a man that constantly gets probably the phrase thrown at you, take your shirt off? Like, I mean, that's probably something that gets thrown at you more times than normal I would expect.
I like it. My favorite is I ponied up to a bar. This is right when the machine story went viral. I ponied up to a bar at the airport, the American Airlines lounge, and a woman sat next to me, beautiful, and said, I know you. I know you. And the bartender was sitting there, and he's like, you don't know her? And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know you. And she goes, did we go to high school together? And I said, no. And then her eyes light up. And to the bartender, she goes, I didn't recognize him with his shirt on. And he was like, huh? And I go, oh, I know you. And the guy lights up. He's like, she leaves. He's like, you had sex with her and you didn't remember? I was like, oh, no. I perform with my shirt off. He goes, buddy, we all perform with our shirts off.
Shirts off. That's definitely the rule. Socks on or off is where you have to kind of make your line, draw your line in the sand, I guess.
Yeah, I'm socks off. I grew up in Tampa.
Well, very, very cool on that. Well, let's talk about Las Vegas and the crowds here too, because one of the cool things about Las Vegas is you get every kind of melting pot, every pot in the country, of it melts into this town for tourists. And of course, we get the tourists who are nice in suits and tourists who are in flip flops and ready to go. So either way, what is it you look forward to when it comes to a Las Vegas crowd? What are you expecting to see?
What I love about a Las Vegas crowd, and especially comedy these days, is it's an event for them. They go out, they get dressed up, they get a nice dinner before or after the meal, and they make it an evening. Now, growing up in comedy, that wasn't always the thing. It was like a Thursday night, what are we gonna do? Right? Nowadays, they make an evening of it. And my favorite thing in the world is to go to a table, uh, preferably roulette, find a bunch of fans, pull out $1,000, give everyone $100, and go bet recklessly. That's my favorite thing to do. Pull out $1,000, thumb off 100 to everyone at the table, and go just bet recklessly. It's your money. Bet recklessly. I want to see if you can take home some big bucks.
So you're a dream starter, is what you are too. You're trying to create.
That's all I've ever been. That's all I've ever been. I hear inspirational voices in my head. I just started a happiness journal. I do gratitude in the morning. Like my biggest goal. And by the way, every time no one bets recklessly enough, no one does.
Oh.
And they all just want to, and if they want to walk away with the money, they can. But man, my goal is have someone go, okay, I put 100 on 11. Boom. 100 on 11 hits, and they're losing their mind. That's what my goal is.
Well, you know what? That's a goal, because that's the magic that'll happen. Because if it does happen, the magic from there on out, you change that person's life. Everything they know in the world is redefined 100%.
Yeah. Dude, it's about the legend. It's about the story. Like when I die, you just want kids sitting around going, my dad knew Bert Kreischer, met him at a casino. Can you believe that? The Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas. He ended up throwing some money down at the table and said, everyone should bet recklessly. I'm telling you, man, it's the legend.
And that's why we live in this house on this lake now, because of Bert. It was the start of the empire, and here we are now.
My dad was a window washer. Can you believe he made all of this? Now he owns the buildings of the windows he used to wash.
He owns this casino now. That's where we are. So what can fans expect when they go to a Bert show? They get there. Of course, this is the relapse part of your tour. You're bringing everything back here. So what can they expect? They sit down. What's going to happen to them?
First and foremost, I've designed a playlist of awesome music you can drink to. So if you get there early and you want to get there early, have your cocktails in your chairs. And I have a great playlist of music that I love. I have 2 great openers that open for me. And then I come out, shirts off, an hour of new material that I'm getting ready for my new Netflix special. And then I bang out some of the hits, the Machine Story and anything else that kind of comes up. I think it, I'm kind of one of those guys that I'm a fan first. And so like, if I saw Ron White, I'd want to hear the tater salad story. If I saw Jim Brewer, I'd want to see a little Goat Boy. If I see Dave Attell, I want to see some stuff for Skanks from the Memories. And so I try to deliver that as an entertainer, because I know what I like, Right.
Well, it's funny too. I remember interviewing Patton Oswalt, I want to say a decade ago or something. And we were talking about, comedians and rock stars and how the connections are. And I'm like, why can't comedians release a best of album and just be like, hey, dude, here's the best stuff right now. I'm going to do a little Seinfeld for you too. Here's a little Attell. Let's going to throw a little flavor out there for you all to get you guys revved up. Because that's not available for comedians, but it's the same kind of almost comedy and storytelling, I think, too.
Well, I would love to do a tour. I had initially played around with the tour. I saw Wilco do this, where I set up the tour date, and then you could pick the bits you wanted me to tell. So the fans that were going there could vote on those bits, and then we tell them in that order. And that was before the Machine Story went viral. And when the Machine Story went viral, I had to tell it every show. And I realized part of the fun for me is the new material, is right. The messing around on stage, messing with the audience, going into the room, having fun, and letting it be of the moment. No one wants to sit there and see a comic just run through his set list. And so part of the fun for me is the newness, it's that first kiss. It's
right?
the gamble, baby. It's the gamble.
It is the gamble, and all the fans who are going to buy tickets should know, of course, that this isn't anything they've seen. Like, you know, a lot of times they see the networks, the Netflix specials, and all these things. They expect, well, I've seen all that stuff before, and all these things. Like,
Yeah.
no, you're going to see a lot of new. You're going to see a lot of fresh, and more importantly, you're going to see a lot of things that are just right then in that moment too. Because a lot of the shows are, you never know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah, it's 100%. I mean, the show is of that moment. It's the material I'm working on. It's all new stuff. Right now I have 2 hours of new material, and so I'm kind of trying to whittle it down and skinny it up. I mean, I was in Bakersfield a week ago, and my wife was there, and so
I'm sorry. I'm sorry
I
about that, but okay.
well, we got to score our mess somewhere, and so my wife came, and I did like an hour and 45, and then told the machine. So on these Vegas one night shows, the show gets a little long. I tell all new stuff, and then the hits, whatever you want to hear at the end. You know,
Right.
it's I want the fans to leave going, I got my money's worth.
No doubt. Well, and that's a beauty of it too, because the fans, especially in the digital age now, I was just talking to Whitney Cummings last week about this too. You know,
I'm so sorry.
We're starting a group together. We're starting a group. We're gonna make it work out. We'll talk. But I was talking about the fact that in the digital world now, fans catch you all over because of Pandora and YouTube and rewatches and stuff. Like, I mean, Gaffigan probably still gets Hot Pockets all the time, and you'll probably get, you know, the machine going for however long you're gonna go to, and you know, everyone gets all these things in time. So it's always funny because now there's no point of reference. It wasn't like, oh, you watched my latest tour. It's like, oh, you just caught me. You found me one way or the other.
What's really funny is if you had told me when I was a young comic that I would have a bit that I was known for, like Jim Gaffigan or Jim Jeffries, you know, like when I was a young comic, I would have said, I'll trade you everything. I'll sell my soul to the devil. I wanted that so badly. And then, you know, what happens is you get that bit that you're known for, and some people find that they push away from that. And I'm like, no, man, you forget for me at least, I'm not going to forget where I came from. I was a broke comic looking for any bit of success. As
Right.
long as people want to come to my shows, I will show up. I will take the shirt off. I will party. I will hang out with you after the shows. We will go to the bars. I know who butters my bread, and I want to make sure that when they work a 12-hour day and then take that money and put it on me, that their bet's going to pay off.
No doubt. Well, I mean, it's funny too because you know you look down the road. I mean, Seinfeld probably still gets the werewolf in the bathroom skit. You know, the shaving thing too. So it's funny that no matter what age or whatever, it's just that you grabbed it one way or the other, and they're a fan from there on out too. So so last thing I have to ask is, you know, what else do you do in Las Vegas when you come to town? Are you a foodie? Are you gonna go shoot a big gun? Are you gonna race a car, fly a plane? Like, there's everything here. So what else is on the Bert schedule?
Food. My favorite aspect of Vegas, especially as a performer, is the access they give you, and then getting you into nice restaurants and having the chefs maybe know who you are and send out something special. I love eating in Las Vegas. It is the best. It's probably the greatest culinary city in the world, based on the high end chef per capita. I mean, it is my favorite thing to do. So I'm kind of looking forward to I want to go to Roy Choi's restaurant. My daughters went and saw Bruno Mars with my wife and all their friends right before Christmas, and they went out to Roy Choi's restaurant, and they said it was the best food they've ever had in their life. So
Best friend, right?
Yeah, food. I'm a food guy. A little booze too, you know.
Well, we
if you wake me up early, I'll play golf with you, but you know, chances are.
Well, that's why we play disc golf, so we can include everything. I think at the end of the day, you can smoke, you can drink, you can play, and you're just saving time. I think it's just a smarter play altogether, one way or another. So, and then don't forget, Virgin has a bunch of great restaurants in there too. So make sure to try those out. Great steak place, an amazing Thai place there that has a Thai tea martini that'll blow you away. I'm telling you right now.
You might have a hard time getting me out of that hotel. You might have a hard time dragging me out of that hotel.
100%. And we want to see you jumping around. And I want instead of a gamble, I want you to come to me and give me $100 at a restaurant and say, go crazy. Order something weird.
Yeah, that's what I should do. I should put my money where my mouth is and go up and pay people's checks.
I want you to eat 3 desserts in a row right now. Go. just kind of go from there. Well, I can't wait. I think everyone's going to have an amazing time. And more importantly, I think you're going to have a fun time too. And that's going to show on stage. So Virgin Hotel, of course, doors open at 7. So they're going to want to get there early to listen to that playlist. And of course, everyone needs to go buy tickets right now. Bert, thank you so much. We can't wait for you to come out to Vegas.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much for having me on. I will see you in Vegas.